You're live.
Okay. All right. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Rocky Hill Public Building Commission meeting of Tuesday, October 13th at 5:37 p.m. First item on the agenda is the approval of the draft minutes from our September 14th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Motion by Sal. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I got it.
Second. Was that you, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Second by Tom. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. We'll do a roll call vote here. Looks like we have 4 commissioners. Let's yay or nay, please. Mr. Gansey.
Yay.
Mr. Bowman.
Yay.
Mr. Longo.
Yay.
And Mr. O'Connor.
Yay.
I don't believe is there anybody else on the phone that we know of, or no? Doesn't look like it. Okay. All right. That's the ayes have it. Minutes are approved. We have no public comment or anybody lined up for that. So we'll go to the next item, which is the Community Senior Center project discussion and updates with our owner's rep Colliers. Take it away, Matt.
I was gonna say I'll do it because I know Matt's gonna be doing double duty here. He may have to leave the meeting, so I figured I'll cover and Matt can answer questions if we have it while he's still here, just in case he has to leave early. But everything's going good. We still seem to be tracking on budget. That part's going well. From a schedule standpoint, I'll let Paul talk to the construction schedule, but it looks like, even I think last month you talked about having a couple of weeks that were slipped only because of that one change order that was happening, but the PAC is trying to recover the schedule. So they're still trying to work on that. They've been moving along pretty well on a bunch of stuff. So I don't see why that schedule probably couldn't get recovered. They're definitely moving quick on certain areas. So that looks like it'll work, but I'll let Paul talk to that a little bit. Right now, I think it's tracking. The latest schedule has June 14th. I think our schedule had it on June 1st. So it's back down to 2 weeks. It was a little bit more than that, I think, last month. So they're recovering the schedule, but I don't see any big hurdles there. And everything seems to be tracking good. We had some issue that came up this morning, but I guess there's an RFI that needs to get issued for it. Nobody really has their hand on what the issue is yet completely. So once that comes through, we'll figure out what's going on. But other than that, everything seems to be going well with construction along the way. And I'll let, again, Paul talk to schedule and everything that they're doing on site. There was one PCO that came through during the month that was approved by this finance subcommittee. So that's all squared away. Had to do with some ACM pipe underneath the stage, and that's all passed through. So that'll be coming through in a change order once that gets processed. Any questions?
Anybody have anything for Kurt and Colliers?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Good.
One, Brian. How did we make out on the mock-up? You had some concerns, Matt, last time I walked the site.
Yeah, Sal, but excuse me. We had, as I mentioned when we were walking around on site, we had BVH out there was the next day or the day after that, and they provided some good comments back to PAC and Kyle, the superintendent there, and they're going to be addressing a couple of the concerns. Also, even before BVH showed up, they did clean all the masonry and the brick, so it looked much better, at least from a cleanliness standpoint and grouting standpoint. They were in agreement that the tooling itself could certainly be significantly better, and it would be in the building itself. And BVH also addressed some of the flashing and waterproofing items that you and I had talked about on site. So PAC is certainly going to be addressing those.
So are they going to correct those in the mock-up or just address it and then monitor it in the field for the first window condition?
They're going to be addressing it in the field as they put together the envelope. BVH is not only our envelope commissioning agent, but is also our envelope testing agent. So they'll be out there pretty frequently during the time period that the envelope's going up. So they'll have a pretty good eyes on it. And also,
I imagine you will too. You're the one, you brought up the whole mock-up to us.
Absolutely.
We walked it, and I know you were concerned, so
Absolutely.
I know that's something we all want to keep an eye on. Thank you.
What was the issue with the mock-up, Sal?
Just some of the flashing details Matt was showing us that he had concerns about, especially at the sill condition, the actual material itself. It's a similar looking material, the through-wall flashing, but this was he didn't use the actual through-wall flashing at the sill. I don't know what he did at the base. The flashing at the sill was not the through-wall flashing. It was the same material you would have wrapped around the 4 sides or 3 sides of a window. It's the Henry Blueskin, correct?
Which is what was spec'd as well, so.
No. I'm talking about he wrapped the windows. The spray looked good, the AVB, but Matt was just showing us the flashing, and he used the same wrap at the window jambs, which is different from an actual through-wall flashing material. Because the Henry products should say TWF as through-wall flashing when you're using it as a windowsill flashing, not to be confused with the window wrap for the AVB system. And the base, I don't think we could see the base. I think he had the base up high enough. There was no way to verify that.
Well, we did have some concerns about how we're supporting that flashing, but I'll look into actually what was spec'd in the through wall flashing that you're referring to. But
Yeah, it's a manufacturer. It's all the same manufacturer. It's just using the right part with the right location is all.
okay.
And I would imagine that's got to be part of BVH's and QAM's comments in the mock-up if they haven't. Have you reviewed it yet, Rocco?
I've been out there to look at it and reviewed it. I haven't formalized my comments to PAC group yet, but
Okay. He might have corrected it by now. I don't know.
That is the first I'm hearing of that comment, so I don't believe anything's been corrected.
Okay.
What was discussed with BVH out there on site was to basically it was loosely applied, and so to make sure that it's got supporting materials so that it's not punctured by anything during installation. They didn't specifically notify anything or identify anything about that specific material, but I'll double check and confirm that with BVH, and then I'm sure Paul will confirm that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else have any other further questions for Colliers? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to update from QA&M. Rocco, do you have anything to add to that?
really, I think over the last few weeks, you've been able to see the progress sticking up over the fence. So PAC's done a good job on getting all the steel up and erected, and getting those guys, well, I guess a little ahead of schedule from where they would have been. You probably noticed the weather barrier on the gym that will be behind the insulation facing Old Main Street. Surprised. We're all kind of surprised we haven't got any phone calls yet, about the color. But anyway, there were a couple issues as far as the steel goes, but they've since been corrected. And there's one that was put up the other day that we're working on now. But other than that, everything looks pretty good. The majority of the roof decking's already on, so I guess I'll let Paul talk more about the schedule as to when they're pouring the slab and as the other major milestones to come up.
Anybody have any questions for QA&M? Okay, I guess at this time we'll let Paul from PAC Group add his comments.
Yeah, so
Welcome,
my
Paul.
comments specifically are regarding schedule. As Kurt mentioned, we are trying to make up time on the schedule from that 3-week delay. So right now we're working on wrapping up sequence 3 on the steel. There is some time there for fine tuning and detailing of the steel that has been erected. One of the final pieces that we will put in place is that geometric shape out in the front canopy. So we are working on putting decking on right now. That'll open up work for the framers to start the parapets. We'll roll into roofing. Once the parapets are framed, we'll bring them down onto the lower level. At that time, we're hoping the slab will be placed. The rain right now is our biggest variable, so we lost 2 days there on getting that deck on and getting that steel detailed. We're hoping to start prepping that slab by week's end and to do the slab in one pour early next week. That would be the ultimate goal, and hoping to start framing by, let's say, Wednesday of the exterior walls. Those are the big milestones right now. We're also working on storm drainage. All the structures did land, and we do have our catch basin 1 installed currently, and we're trying to roll in the catch basin 2, obviously, again, battling the rain there. So we are moving on site. We are making up time, even though it's not as much time as we had hoped with the weather, but we are pushing as hard as we can, and hopefully we can have some more progress to show you next month.
Great, thank you, Paul. Anybody have any questions for PAC?
Of course I do.
Of course.
It does look good. It looks like you're making some decent progress out there. How far off the 3 weeks do you think you are still?
Well, unfortunately, we hit a little speed bump with the building department on the transite pipe. So we lost a day or 2 there, potentially 3, but we are trying to make up time. I would say we're right about there on the 3 weeks right now, but with multiple trades opening up on the framing and the roofing side, there is some time to make up there. So unfortunately, to answer your question, I'd say we're still at the 3 weeks, but with the other trades opening up, there's some overlap there that we can grab.
Okay, so the steel is about where you thought it would be from 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now is that geometric shape. We have some obstacles there on that geometric shape just to wrap up that final canopy. But yes, if we didn't hit the 2 days of rain this week and we had 2 full days of slapping deck down, we'd be right where we should be.
Are you in any way being held up by anybody? RFIs being answered, shop drawings, any subcontractors not getting you information fast enough?
Nope, not at this time. Like I mentioned, our biggest variable right now seems to be the weather. So as soon as we can finish up that deck, it would really open up other trades. So we have the low roof decked right now. We have one of the high roofs. We're hoping by the end of the day tomorrow, the decking will be complete.
Okay, thank you. I
Anyone
have
else
a
any
question.
questions for PAC?
No, it's for you, Brian, actually, or John, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Should we, some point during this meeting, set a date that, and it doesn't have to be soon, some sort of a walkthrough? Like an after the job hours, like after 3:30 kind of thing? Would that be all right, John? BBC.
Yes, you just have to coordinate it with Paul. What time would be good?
Yeah, I'd actually
For him.
prefer during hours if that was possible for you guys.
No, I just was thinking whatever's more, I just thought it'd be convenient for you after hours so nobody's around. You could just walk around, but that's fine too.
Yeah, I
I'm sure
mean,
we can work.
guys will start trickling out around 2:30 if we want to aim for like a 3 o'clock maybe.
You want to schedule it for before our next PBC meeting? Does that make sense?
Do you want to have your next one here at the town council chamber? Or you like the Zoom meetings?
With my internet connection, I would prefer to be in person. I don't have an issue with doing that, but that could make sense to do a site walk and have our PBC at the same time.
So if you did at the next meeting, Paul, a site walk at 3 o'clock's okay?
Yep.
It'll probably be what, November? I don't know, when is it, November 9th? We got the
10th.
election.
November 10th. Oh, no, it's 9th. You're right.
So it'll be, it'll be November 9th. We'll have the walkthrough at 3. Then you want to have the meeting at 4 or 4:30?
Sure, we could do it at 4. I mean, if we're already there, if everybody's good with going. What are we just standard route, standard policy, just everybody's got to wear a mask during the meeting?
Yeah, and then we'll set, a few feet apart. So there may be 5 or 6 at the front table and some scattered throughout the crowd.
Okay.
But yes, you have to have your mask. That's the key.
And
Okay.
also proper footwear, and we'll have to have hard hats for you guys.
Yeah, we do have extra hard hats on site, but yes, please wear proper footwear.
Or flip-flops proper, if they're steel-toed flip-flops, that's okay though?
As long as it's closed-toed.
Wear your steel-toed flip-flops, so.
Don't have to
So
worry
we'll
about
have
that. I'll wear
a
flip-flops.
walkthrough on November 9th at 3 o'clock. And then the regular meeting at 4:30.
Yeah, we could do that. You
Or
guys have an
you
issue at
want
that
to make it
time?
at 4? You think it's going to be?
I don't think it'd be too tight. We're right next door. I mean, there's not much of a building, and especially a month from now, what are we going to see? Some open framing, steel, exterior walls pretty much closed up.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll make it 4 o'clock meeting.
It all depends on how many questions Sal asks.
My thoughts
Really?
exactly.
Really, Brian?
Can we just shut his mic off?
I thought I was pretty succinct here.
All right.
Well, I guess I can't have my cigar there then, huh?
All right. Anybody else have anything for our project team at this point? All right. Move on to the next item, correspondence communications. Probably the only item to discuss is we have a topping off ceremony scheduled for the
Yes.
23rd.
Yep. Since Paul's here too, we had a little meeting about planning it out, and we were thinking of doing it on the 23rd, but further discussion, Paul's recommending that we move it to the 30th. So based on his suggestion, we can move it to the 30th, but Paul, I suggest it's rain or shine. We won't have a rain date. Maybe Phil can set up a little tent and we can record it if it's a downpour or anything, but let's just shoot, drop dead date is the 30th at noon. Okay, Phil, we have a tent, right? Something we could just put up there so that
Yeah, we'll be able to find something.
Yeah, and by
we
that,
just need someone
Paul,
from
would you-
PBC to represent PBC at the ceremony.
Paul, would you need a tent at that point?
no, at that point, we're hoping to be fairly tight within the building. If it does rain, we may have to look at something for how we corral people in, just to keep them dry. But at that
Yep.
point, within the building, we should be fairly tight.
Okay. The 30th at 12. And then someone from PBC say a few words? Not ask a few questions?
Wow,
I guess.
John, you too.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I'll attend anyways, whether or not you let me speak for 15 minutes. No, yeah. Whatever your format is, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll send you something when we finalize it. It's going
John,
through
I'll make
the
a deal
ringer.
with you. I'll make a deal with you. I'll stop asking questions, but we'll switch to Brian's 30-page dissertation question.
Yes, there you go.
All right.
Okay. That's it, and we discussed about the next meeting. So it'll be on site as opposed to Zoom.
Yep.
I'm all set.
Great. Great, thanks. Anything else, John?
No.
Or from Colliers regarding any correspondence? Okay, we'll move on to bill payment recommendations. Just including your packet, we got 3 invoices from Colliers, QA&M, and Pack Group. I'll take a motion for the first invoice.
You ready? I'd like to take a motion to approve Colliers.
Sal.
I'm sorry, start over. I'd like to make a motion to approve Colliers invoice number 007240 in the amount of $9,275.
Second,
Motion made, and I have a second by Tom. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Gansey,
Yay.
Mr. Bodwin,
yay.
Mr. Longo,
Yay.
and Mr. O'Connor.
Yay.
Okay. Collier's invoice is approved. Go ahead, Sal.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Quisenberry Arteri Malik invoice number 12909 in the amount of, $8,823.47.
Second it,
I have a motion made and a second by Tom. Any discussion? 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 Hearing none. We'll do a roll call. Mr. Gansey,
Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look here at the percentages completion. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to
are
approve. I'm
you
sorry. Go ahead.
approving it? It's a yay or a nay?
Yep,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
You made the motion already.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was already jumping on to PAX. Sorry. I'm already looking at PAX bill already.
Yeah.
Yay.
I have a yay or nay, Mr. Gansey. All right,
Yay.
Mr. Bodwin,
Yay.
Mr. Longo,
Yay.
and Mr. O'Connor.
Yay.
All right, invoice is approved. Sal, on to Pack Group.
To make a motion to approve PAC Group LLC requisition 4, invoice 200-1704 in the amount of $436,787.40.
Second,
I have a motion made and a second by Tom. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Yeah, the
Sal, any discussion?
33%. Huh? Yeah, well, you could still ask, right?
go
Hey,
ahead.
Paul, question for
No,
you. The
go ahead.
33% for the project super and everyone, you're looking at a third through the project? Or is this for a separate section? Because your bill is pretty lengthy.
No, that's purely based off the GCs allocated. So it's 100% divided by 12, and that's the monthly tack on.
We're already a third of the way through. Yeah, holy cow, okay. All right, that was all my only question. When did you guys start out
Any
there?
further
Les?
discussion?
June.
When did you start? June?
June.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Last call for discussion. Anything else? All right, we'll roll call vote. Mr. Gansey,
Yay.
Mr. Bodwin,
Yay.
and Mr. Longo,
Yay.
and Mr. O'Connor.
Yay.
Invoice is approved. That looks like that is it for our agenda. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Oops, sorry.
Motion made,
second.
motion
don't-
made by Tom, second by Sal. All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, we are adjourned. Have a good
All
night.
right, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Say,
Aye.